to the Heisman conversation. It's interesting when your team doesn't play as well or struggles in a game, how, I mean, Mendoza, had his ups and downs in the game, but if Indiana wins that game by 25, right, then nobody's really talking about like, oh, Heisman, but you can almost create yourself Heisman moments. Like you can almost like stub your toe and then like create a good story. And that's what Indiana did. And as soon as he completed that pass in the back of the end zone, which was a phenomenal pass, he put it where only the wide receiver could get it. It was a better play by the wide receiver than it was a pass. He was electric on that last drive, though. He was so confident. I know it probably tore you up while you were watching it, but like he just looked like, he looked like Brady in the last 2 minutes of a freaking Super Bowl where their team was down by 4. There was no rattle. There was no shake. They were on the road in conference against a talented team, the best defensive coordinator in the country. Like they absolutely brought it. And I thought he looked phenomenal. I didn't even look up the odds, but like in your mind there's a lot to be determined and what Simpson does and what Sayin does. And that head to head is going to mean a lot. But if the Heisman was today, did he just win it on Saturday?
Yeah, the moments matter, right? That Heisman moment, we always talk about that. Recency bias is a part of that. I think everybody was drinking the Diego Pavia Kool-Aid for a while until enough evidence had been mounted that it was like, hey, he's good. He's a B at this level. Mendoza, what I saw against Penn State was a dude who, it was just in complete command. The ability to adjust the protections, to help him out late in the game and everything, and just to extend plays. Ultimately, his ability with his legs in a lot of situations where the Penn State pass rush got home, and he would make off-platform throws, not like Patrick Mahomes, but just running to his left, throwing to his right, doing the proper things mechanically to throw the football effectively. And he just appeared calm. He took the hits. He stayed in there. I mean, I was very impressed by what he did. And yeah, that throw at the end of the game, everybody in the stadium thought it was out of bounds because the image shown up on the Tron was only one direction, and it looked like Cooper's right foot hit the chalk before his left foot hit the grass. And then nobody saw the TV version at Beaver Stadium, so everybody was pretty pissed. But the TV version, credit to Cooper, man, that was an insane catch.
How he got the other foot to drop, I don't know how he did that.
Anatomically brilliant. Yeah, it was crazy.
I couldn't even imagine doing that, let alone, now obviously I'm not a D1 athlete, but
right.
I couldn't even think about doing that, bro. I fall down and go to chase the kids. Come on, man.
And the body control was incredible. And that was one of 3 tightrope catches that Indiana wide receivers at Decker played a hell of a game. He tapped his heel on one play on the sideline. That was also pretty damn close. So everybody played extremely well from that wide receiver core for Indiana. But to the point about the Heisman, Mendoza's got the recency bias right now. He's hot on Monday, November 10th.
Right.
I still think it's going to wind up being Julian Sayin. I don't believe it should be Julian Sayin. I think that's just what it's going to be. I don't believe in a situation where you're not even the best player on your team and you're getting the Heisman Trophy. Yeah. I think that's BS. And I've talked about it here before, the Bryce Young, Will Anderson year at Alabama back in 2021. That still drives me nuts to this day. Ty Simpson, I think, is getting faulted because Alabama's been in tougher games. But I don't necessarily look at the LSU game did Ty Simpson have a bad game or did he just have a quiet game? Was that offensive line and the running game not really there and him having to create and keep that team alive? I thought he did an outstanding job, and it's okay to win tough games. It's okay to win those games against an elite defense like LSU has. And then the Sayin issue is still there for me. I still think a dark horse in this whole situation is going to be Jeremiah Love at Notre Dame. Yeah. And I said it in the offseason, it's just he continues to put up the numbers. Notre Dame is continuing to win. Some of the games have been a little head scratchy, but they're going to be there. And I forget at what date the Heisman Trophy gets awarded, but the Big
13th, I think.
December or January?
December 13th.
December 13th. So depending on when the Big Ten championship game is, I imagine before that might be the Heisman Bowl. That might be Sayin versus Mendoza, winners the Heisman.
I'll get right back to the video, but first, let me remind you about our friends over at Sleeper. Make sure that you are using the Sleeper app this college football season, whether you're playing in your eliminator leagues, whether you're playing fantasy football, or whether you're playing the more or less game to make some money with us. You can still deposit on Sleeper and get a 100% match up to $100 by using our code CFA. If you just want to click the link in the description, that'll autofill the code for you. It'll download the app and autofill the code. You don't have to do any work. Put your info in, play the more or less game with us, go get the free plays and make some money with us. Make sure that you read their terms and conditions because terms of use do apply. Appreciate Sleeper for their support here on College Football Addiction. I tend to agree. The scenario where, because I think it's going to go one of those three quarterbacks, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
And so likely to the winner of that game, which was, I would lean Sayan at this point. Unless Sayan has a pedestrian game and Ty Simpson wins the SEC, we love to just give it to a quarterback, whether it's deserved or not. You win the Big Ten or the SEC, you're probably going to have a really good shot to get the Heisman. And I think that's ultimately what they'll go with. The other thing is, I don't know if there's been like Love is up there. I don't know if there's been like a guy that is just so much better than everyone else that I would probably lean Mendoza at this point if there was a question about that. But because nobody's really separated, we just give it to the guy that wins the big game at the end, and that's just, it's lazy, but that's just what we do. Yeah. I did look at the odds and yeah, they're basically tied everywhere. There's a couple of books where he's slightly ahead, but like on Bet365, they have the same odds. On DraftKings, they have the same odds. On FanDuel, they have the same odds. ESPN Bet, he has slightly better odds. Some of that could be like kind of market driven. I don't know that they're really implying one or the other, but you're right. He is like what's sexy right now. I think for him to win it, they're going to have to beat Ohio State. I don't see a scenario where they give it to him losing to the quarterback head to head. And then the same thing for Sayan. Like, I don't really see a situation where he could lose the Big Ten championship and not win it.
Yeah. And again, like, I still think Jeremiah Smith is the best football player in the country right now. Yeah. So if you somehow have a scenario where Julian Sayan has a really bad completion percentage against, say it's Indiana in the Big Ten championship game, but Jeremiah Smith just
catches 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Then I think everybody and their brother will wake up and be like, oh yeah, we forgot.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, we forgot about the best wide receiver by a landslide and then arguably the best player in the sport. It should go, I know it's the most outstanding player. He's the most dominant player in the sport. The top 3 wide receivers are him, Cam Coleman, and Carnell Tate, his own teammate, in my opinion. So those guys are the most dominant. Early in the season, we were talking about Ruben Bain. Who's the DN at Texas A&M? I keep forgetting his name.
Cassius Howell.
Cassius Howell is outstanding. I love his game, but it's late in the season that everybody's developing an understanding of what his game is, right? The safe thing is to give it to a quarterback. Yeah. And unless Julian Sayan has a completion percentage that dips below like 75, because he was still 27 of 33 for 300 yards, a touchdown and a pick against Purdue in a 34-10 win this past weekend. So it's like, he's doing enough. He's keeping pace, so he's not out of it.
I'm in complete agreement. It is dumb the way that we just give it to quarterbacks, but I don't make the rules and I don't vote. So at the end of the day, I can't impact this too much, but I did like Mendoza's game. And again, I'm interested to see like what Simpson looks like down the stretch. A tough Oklahoma defense that he's got to play here soon too, which is a